Majesty, we are discovered.
Good.
Guys! It's a trap!
I'm the first to admit when I make a mistake. I simply never do.
If you thought that was the last word from a Napoleon, think again. Meet Louis Napoleon. Everybody loves a good story involving royalty, bloody battles, scandal, intrigue, and accusations of murder. This is one of those stories. Louis was the great-nephew of Napoleon Bonaparte. By 24, Napoleon Bonaparte was a commander of the French army. At 23, Louis Napoleon was dead. So how did the sole heir to the Napoleonic Empire end up dying in battle against the Zulu, wearing a British uniform, holding in one hand the sword his great-uncle carried at Austerlitz, and in the other, a locket given to him by Princess Beatrice, the youngest daughter of Queen Victoria? Our story begins in rural England, 58 years after the Battle of Waterloo, and 3 years after Emperor Napoleon III's rout at the Battle of Sedan. Prince Louis, his disgraced and dying father and mother, now live in exile under the watchful eye of Queen Victoria. When his father dies, all hope of a Bonaparte returning to France now lie with Louis. Could Louis really be the next Emperor of France? Starstruck Beatrice, Queen Victoria's favorite daughter, falls deeply, madly in love with Louis. There's even talk of marriage. Queen Victoria disapproves and will do anything in her power to stop her daughter's romance. Queen Victoria was attempting to end slavery and place a stake in South Africa's valuable land. But to do that, her army would have to take on the mighty Zulu warriors. Alarm bells started ringing when a British column at Isandlwana is destroyed. Louis sees an opportunity to prove himself. He begs Queen Victoria to join the forces being assembled for South Africa. Queen Victoria seizes the moment, and along with Empress Eugenie, Louis's mother, they agree to send Louis. British Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli tells a friend, "I tried to stop Louis. But what can you do when you have 2 obstinate women to deal with?" Empress Eugenie is at the dockside. She hands him a French uniform and the sword. Beatrice gives Louis a locket as a good luck charm. Journalist Melton Pryor, writing for the London Illustrated, along with Lieutenant Jaleel Brenton Carey, will join Louis on his journey. Although Louis is not supposed to be on combat duty and is nominally led by Lieutenant Carey, he pushes to go on patrol where he recklessly endangers himself on the front lines. He has the propensity to dash off after individual Zulus. On one occasion, Louis brought a sword to a gunfight. The Zulus were armed with guns. This comes to a head when his unit is attacked by some 40 Zulu warriors. Louis's horse bolts, dragging him by a stirrup. He is isolated, fights bravely. In one hand, the famous sword, and the other hand, the good luck charm from Beatrice. But in vain. His body was found with 18 spear wounds to the chest. Carey escapes with the rest of the patrol. However, the British military wish to keep this news to themselves, and it takes 2 months for it to be published in the London Illustrated News. The French papers accuse the British Army and Queen Victoria of murder, and claim the British had their golden son murdered to prevent him from marrying Beatrice, straining diplomatic relations. The British look for a scapegoat. All eyes turn on Lieutenant Carey. After a 3-day trial, he is found guilty for the death of Louis Napoleon and court-martialed. An estimated 40,000 people attended the funeral of Louis Napoleon in Chislehurst, England. The coffin is draped in both the Union Jack and the tricolour. As the coffin moves slowly by, Queen Victoria hands the locket back to heartbroken Beatrice. Louis's mother, the Empress Eugenie, makes a pilgrimage to Zululand and writes, "More than once I noticed black forms on the top of the banks, which moved silently about and watched me through the tall grasses. This scrutiny was full of curiosity, but it was not hostile. I believe these savages wished rather to express their sympathy and their pity. And doubtless these were the very same men who had killed my son on the same spot." Empress Eugenie, her husband, the last French emperor, and his son, Prince Louis, are not buried in France, but here, where our story began, in rural England. Jaleel Brenton Carey died in Karachi 2 days before his court-martial was retracted. Queen Victoria never forgave herself for the death of Louis. Historical royal action dramas have an international audience. Romance, great characters, and multiple plot lines will drive interest. Why this project? Royal scandals don't stop. The Crown, Diana and Charles, Andrew and Epstein, Harry and Meghan shows just how fascinated we are by the royal family. This series will unlock another scandal.